Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so I pulled out a bunch of, well, I just uploaded a little haul video from my washi tapes, my new washi tapes, and I want to do some stuff with them. So, um, I thought, okay, well, I need some tags, and I love making tags, and I love collaging, and so, I've got a bunch of, these are just like offcuts from file folders that I save because they are awesome for tags, especially the ones where they're like a lighter color on the back. Not that one. You know what I mean? So it's light enough that you can write on it. I like to use those for tags. Even these I will use. I mean, you know, you can write on it with, you know, like a white gel pen or something like that, but I do try to be aware of the backside. So anyway, I just pulled out a whole bunch of different like book pages, mostly paying attention to tone, the color of the papers. Let me kind of pull these up here. And then I like to have different types of text, different fonts, you know, that kind of thing. And just like some variety, you know. And also different textures of paper, because I think that's just, it comes across visually, as well as, you know, physically, the feel of the paper. So I like to use different types of book pages. So anyway, so that's kind of what I normally do, just pull out a selection, and then as I go, I'll probably pull out a whole bunch more stuff too. But I also, well, hang on. I wanted to grab a couple pages out of here too. This is just like an old math book that's got the answers. And then I've got these a couple of autograph books. And so I like to have something like this kind of handy to maybe snag a page out of it or something like that. And I have a couple of different ones that, you know, I like to use. So actually this one is all, whoops, backwards. This one's been, the spine has been untied, so the binding has been untied, so easy to use the pages. So, yeah, so basically, you know, I just, I'm thinking this is a good size to start with for a tag, and a lot of times I will just collage like a whole big piece of paper and then cut it down into different you know, sizes for tags, but sometimes I like to do it this way too, and just do each one individually. I rearranged my entire studio a couple, well, started a couple of days ago, and I'm not sure if I like the arrangement on my desk right now. I don't really have as much room on my desk as I had before, so not sure how I feel about it. I try to keep things within like arm's reach, the things that I use all the time. I try to keep that stuff in arm's reach. But doesn't always work out that way. So I'm just taking, you know, random, sort of random, I guess it's not really random. I'm trying to use a variety of stuff on here. And I'm also, while I'm laying these down, I'm also trying to pay attention to, you know, preserving at least a portion of certain elements. I like to have my text going different directions. Sometimes I just think that that adds a little bit of interest. Oops, that's upside. And see, like, it would bug me if those numbers were completely upside down, but and then sometimes I will ink the edges of certain ones if the tone is very similar, but I still want to be able to use, like, this has numbers on it, right? These are like logarithms, and so I want to use it because I like the content, but the tone of the paper is very similar to this one, and so I just want it to kind of stand out a little bit, so that's why I put ink on the edges. Just kind of give you my little method, I guess. So I don't always ink everything. I do it for a specific reason, you know. And the ink that I like to use, because I use a baby wipe generally to kind of smooth everything down and that kind of thing. So because I use a baby wipe, it's wet, right? So I want my ink to basically stay where I put it. So that's why I use like an archival ink as opposed to like a distress ink, because if I use a distress ink, which I do use it sometimes, if I want the ink to kind of move around, but if I want the ink to stay put, I'll use the archival. So yeah, and I just wind up with these crazy scraps of paper, and I'm intentionally allowing them to spill over the edge, right? And I will go back and trim that off. But so I'm just really trying to, for the most part, just cover the tag. And then I'm sure if you've seen me doing this before, you know that I like to use masking tape a lot, and so just add a piece here and there, and sometimes a little bit of fabric, or maybe even a piece of lace or something. But actually this one, I don't think I'm going to add any fabric to it. I like to use, oh, and I ink around the edge of my masking tape. And this one I just went crazy. I said, okay, just ink it up. So I just inked the whole entire edge of the roll of tape, instead of just, the top edge. Because I'm only going to be using it for collage, so figured I might as well. And then I like to use these wider rolls because I can tear this into sort of weird shapes and stuff, right? And then I always glue it down too. I always glue the masking tape down, because masking tape is intended to be lifted at some point. That's why it's made for painting and to be a temporary tape. So yeah. And then, ooh, I got these new washi tapes, and I don't know which one to use. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. This one is one of my favorites that I just picked up, and I just love the color. Washi Wednesday. In case you didn't see my recent haul video, I picked up some washi tapes from Washi Wednesday, and Yeah, I haven't bought washi tape for a long time, so it was kind of like Christmas. And so I picked up from them a bunch of these, like, some rub-offs or whatever. Yeah, rub-ons. I'm never sure if you're supposed to call it a rub-on or a rub-off. But, yeah. So I'm going to use... Where's my little thing? Okay. So without being, you know, too anal about the whole thing, I want to use that leaf right there. And these come off pretty easily. Once you know, get it going, because it's like a sticker. It's stuck on the, it's got adhesive on the back, and then I'm just gonna put it back on its little backing paper and sort of just rub it down. And then I might, you know, I might come back and add another image. I might add like an image of a bird or something like that on here, you know, I don't know. But that's a good start. So I like to make a bunch at one time and then, you know, kind of come back in and finish them all up at the same time. So like I don't generally like, oh, I'm going to make this tag and like do the collaging, and then, you know, if I'm going to stitch it and then add some kind of fabric embellishment or something like that, all at one time, right? I like to kind of do like a process to everything and then come back and finish things up. That's just kind of how I like to work. I love this paper. This came from a like a city directory, and it's just cool because it has really cool fonts and texture. Look at this paper. It's so cool. It's like dark brown. Where's my tape, or where's my blue? There it is. So these a lot of these papers are very brittle. So that's kind of why they've been relegated to the collage basket or box, because they're just, you know, not gonna stand up to folding as far as using them in journal signatures. So this is like a really old book. I bought a page pack from Rachel at Roxy Creations a couple months ago. She had some book page packs that she was selling. She might still have some, I don't know, possibly. I know she puts them up every once in a while, but not that I can't get book pages, right? But you know, it's not real often that we can find them in Greek or, you know, stuff like that. So that's why I got those, because I thought they were super cool. I want some of this dark brown. Yeah, that's kind of neat the way it's fading from light to dark. I'm not necessarily worried about covering every single, you know, square inch of this, um, because honestly, I think having some of the background pop through isn't necessarily a bad thing. I go through tons of baby wipes when I'm doing this. You know what? I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. There. I think you guys might be able to see a little bit better that way. See what I'm doing. So some of this tape, sometimes it is hard to talk while you're working, you know? It's kind of weird. And yeah, so I rearranged my whole studio, which I just want to say is not an easy task. It's not an easy undertaking, you know? So when I do that, like, I usually have like a really good reason that I want to do it. And have to be like committed to it, you know? And so a couple reasons that I wanted to do that was, well, one of them was that I got spring fever, and when I'm in the house all day, like I have been all winter, first of all, my space is on the bottom floor of a split level house, and so my windows to the outdoor world are they're high on the wall, right? So, and they also have wooden blinds, like louvered blinds. They're old, like from the 70s, you know, or maybe even older. I don't know. But you know, a lot of times in the winter, I can go all day and not even open them. Like, and I just basically live in artificial lighting all year or all winter. And so it doesn't really matter where my desk is situated because, you know, it doesn't matter if I can see the light of day, right? Because half of the time the curtains are closed, or the drapes are, not drapes, the blinds are closed anyways. And so anyway, so I've been wanting to be able to see the light of day and maybe even actually see some sunshine. And so that's one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of rearrange my space, is because all winter I wanted to be close to the fireplace. I wanted my desk to be close to the fireplace, obviously, because I wanted to stay warm. But actually, I'm going to tear that flower off and just use these two. You know, just to stay warm. But now, like, it's almost spring. Well, I guess it is technically spring. And I want to be able to see outside. So I turned my desk kind of like 90 degrees. And yeah, so now I can look to my left and I can see outside. So I like that. But you know, it's like moving one little thing basically means moving everything. And the other reason that I was rearranging is because I needed to like reorganize too. And see, so there's a lot. This is going to get trimmed off. It's got lots of work to do on it. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of reorganize. And because that inspires me to create. And oh, hang on just a second, guys.
Are you streaming?
No, I'm just making a video. What's up?
I need a ride.
Oh.
I gotta get ready, but...
Okay. Well, I'm taking Sammy to school. So this is probably going to be a short one, guys. Since I don't know how to splice videos together, I need to learn how to do that. Or maybe I'll take him to school and maybe I'll just come back and make another video. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so that inspires me going through my stuff, you know? Because it kind of like reminds me of what I have. And, yeah, it was great. I pulled out everything out of everywhere. I emptied 4 filing cabinet drawers in my bank of filing cabinets, and so that was cool. And then so now I can fill them up again. Took 2 carloads of stuff to Goodwill, which was cleansing. And you know, just random stuff, like, you know, things that I had gotten for the baby, and, you know, for my grandson, and, you know, blankets. I mean, I've been like spring cleaning all over the house, not just in here, but yeah, so that's kind of that's kind of a cool image right there. If the paper's really thin, like this French dictionary, then a lot of times I'll put the glue on the surface instead of on the paper, because I'm afraid it'll stick to the table or I'll rip it. Let's do some of this math. No, I don't like it so dark. How about this? There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I got everything moved around, and the best part is that I literally have an entire table full of books for sale. And so like the whole surface of the table is covered with books, I would say 2.5 feet high. So, yeah. So this is just kind of how I get started on doing this, you know? And you guys have seen me collage stuff a million times, so... use one of these. I love these wide William Morris designs washies. They're so pretty. Tear off a piece and then I'm gonna rip it. And then use another piece of it down here. There we go. All right. Let's do one more before we have to go. Sammy's girlfriend usually drives him to school. But apparently she's not feeling good today, so add a little ink on here. And then one more piece. I want to add something else right up here. Let's do some of the logarithms. And I'm going to ink this one too. I just re-inked that pad, so it's very juicy. Okay, and then, well, I might as well put this little piece on here since it's tore off. And then, I guess I could just use that little flower too, huh? And then a tiny bit of masking tape. There. And then, you know, I'll come back and add some other stuff to these, like some fabric or some fussy cut images maybe, or even just like some strips of sari silk or things like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to splice a couple of videos together. After I take Sammy to school and come back, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna make another video, and then I'll just see if I can do it. I mean, it can't be that hard, right? How hard could it be? So anyways, hopefully I'll be able to do it, and so you guys won't even notice that I was gone. Anyway, okay, so see you in a minute.